I just finished the series finale of the Disney Plus miniseries, The Book of Boba Fett, and holy crap, that's one of the worst things I've ever seen. It was disgustingly bad. I'm beyond disappointed with everybody who was involved. So let's break it down. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
So, the Book of Boba Fett, overall, massive waste of time. To just be completely honest, massive waste of time. I don't know what they were doing. I don't understand the purpose of the series. I don't understand anything. The only things that were actually, relevant is the things that had to do with The Mandalorian. So if you care about The Mandalorian, they advanced that character story. They advanced that storyline. That was good. Everything else, hot piece of garbage. And this episode in particular takes the cake. Like, I can't tell you how disappointed I am with Jon Favreau, who wrote pretty much every episode. Disgustingly bad. I can't tell you how disappointed I am with Robert Rodriguez, who directed quite a few of the episodes and directed this one. I expected better from you. I've defended that man several times. Holy shit. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen with this type of budget. Like, this is almost as bad as the Han Solo movie. Like, almost as bad in terms of Star Wars. I don't understand what they were thinking. I don't understand why. This thing was not made with love, clearly. It was made with disgust, hate. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. And it was, strangely enough, it was set up to win, and they managed to pull defeat from the jaws of victory. So let's just break it down. I'm going to go through this thing because there's a lot to criticize here. So let's begin. The episode starts in, let me make this bigger for you guys. There you go. The episode begins in the bar that got destroyed in the previous episode. So Boba Fett and Fennec, they're checking it out. They're like, all right, this means war now. And they're exploring it. Mando shows up and Mando says like, hey, I got Cod Vanth or whatever his name is. I got Timothy Oliphant to agree to come here and help. And I was sitting there thinking like, did I miss something? Like, I mean, I saw the previous episode and the guy did not agree. He said, I'll see what I can do. He literally said, I'll see what I can do, which generally it's like not great. It's a maybe. I'll give you a solid maybe, and maybe usually means no. 50% of the time it means no, because 70% of the time maybe means no. But okay, I thought maybe I missed something. I don't know. I guess not. So Mando shows up like, oh yeah, he's gonna come and help, even though he got a solid maybe. And so they're talking about, all right, what can we do? The Pike Syndicate's gonna show up. We need to prepare. We need to, defend ourselves, whatever. And so they're like, okay, so let's just go back to the palace, which is kind of a fortress, which is, usually that's the purpose of having a fortress or a palace or whatever. And the two, what are these called? What have I been calling them? The two cyberpunk dudes. They're like, how about if we just stay here? The place that just got bombed to shit. And I guess it's a strategy. It's just a stupid fucking strategy. When you're playing defense, you go to the most, advantageous position. It honestly, it makes, and their logic here is like, well, these are our people. We're not going to abandon them. They're not there to kill your people. They're there to kill you. All right. They're not, their purpose is not to kill everybody else. Their purpose is going to be to kill you. And if you think about it, if somebody's coming to kill you and you're surrounded by civilians, guess who's going to get caught in the crossfire? The people you're trying to protect. The best thing for you to do would be to leave and go to your castle, where you can defend yourself. But no, they're like, fuck it. And we're cyberpunk dudes. We don't care. And we'll stay here. And so Boba Fett's like, you're fucking right. You're goddamn right. And he decides to stay. It's okay. I mean, it's a strategy. This is the same fucking thing as any fucking medieval show where they decide we're going to defend ourselves outside of the walls. Like, what's the point of the fucking walls if you are outside of them? It's stupid. I don't care whatever excuse you want to give me. It's the dumbest fucking idea ever. If you have walls to defend yourself, if you have a fucking fortress, you use it. Here they're like, nah, that'd be too easy. So, all right. Anyway, Boba Fett makes it clear that, by the way, naming this new city Freetown is stupid. And the fact that nobody laughed kind of disappointed me. But anyway, Well, you know what? It's like somebody would be like, it's like the writer was like, man, I'm so cool. I'm so cool. I just came up with the coolest name, Freaktown. No, you're a dumbass. And honestly, it's just the stupidest name ever and kind of too on the nose, but whatever. So Boba Fett's like, all right, cool, but if they don't come, well, we're dead. Which is fair, because they can't match the Syndicate's numbers. Anyway, so that stupid conversation. In the meantime, Bane, Cad Bane, shows up, and it turns out he's in the middle of a meeting with the Pike Syndicate leader or representative and the mayor. And so Cad Bane lets him know, like, hey, that guy from that town all the way over there, dead. Killed him. And now that left me like, but you didn't kill him though, or at least it didn't look like you killed him. It looked like you shot him, sure, but you didn't double tap. You need to double tap. Like, if you're a professional assassin, you should double tap, right? Anyway, and I thought on purpose he wanted to let the marshal live. Turns out no, I guess he was there to kill him. Now, them knowing, like, this is like 7D chess, not even 3D chess, not even 4D chess. This is 7D chess. For the Pike Syndicate to be like, hey, that guy who is not even on the planet here, he's also Mandalorian, and he helped that town defeat a dragon. So they might ask them for help. Boba Fett might call him, and he might call them. And so we need to get you out there to kill this guy preemptively. That's all right. Okay. I guess that dude's really well informed. Like, epically well informed. Like, it's not even fair how well informed he is. Anyway, so they're in the middle of this meeting, and I finally figured out what bothers me about Cad Bane. And I think it's in this episode, they actually did the voice of, they used the voice from the cartoon. They used the dude who voices him in the cartoon. I need to find like something where his face shows. Well, that's a little bit better. But the actor who plays him here in the live action, he tried really hard to move his mouth so that you could see that he is the one speaking and the words that are coming out of his mouth. Do you understand what I'm saying? Also, he showed his teeth a lot. And so that proves that he's the person who's talking at that moment. Now, I don't know what I'm doing in that accent, but fair enough. And yeah, that bothered me. Anyway, so the Pike Syndicate leader confesses, like, hey, yeah, because Cad Bane's like, hey, didn't Boba Fett used to hang out with Tusken Raiders? And the Pike Syndicate guy's like, oh yeah, we killed him. And Cad Bane's like, why'd you kill him? He's like, well, they wanted to charge us money, so we killed him. And so that leads you to a few things like, well, why were you paying the bikers then? Like, the Pike Syndicate has muscle, all right? First off, they don't need to move spice across the desert. They can just fly it. They have spaceships. That's really annoys me. They can just fly it. But no, they're moving it across the desert. All right, fine. And they were paying bikers for protection. They're the Pike Syndicate. They have the muscle. We saw them. They have the muscle on the train. Now, if he would have said, like, hey, they want to charge us money and they attacked our train, all right, that would have been fair enough. But this doesn't make any fucking sense. The Pike Syndicate has not made any sense. They have not used them correctly at all for a second. And now you're like, okay, now I'm starting to understand why they focus so much on the fucking Tusken Raiders in the beginning of the season. But I'll get to that. Anyway, so Cad Bane's like, all right, I think I got something that could piss Boba Fett off and force him to leave force him to attack. Now, usually when you try to force somebody to attack, is for them to leave their strong defensive position, in which Boba Fett currently is not in. He is not currently in his strong defensive position. He is currently in a very weak defensive position. But all right, Cad Bane's got information, whatever. And so they're like, all right, we're going to do something. And we're going to go and we're going to deal with Boba Fett. In the meantime, we see an X-Wing arrive with this skyly hair looking lady. And she's like, oh my God, who the hell's here? A cop? And it turns out it's actually Grogu. So Grogu arrived with R2 and he's wearing the chainmail that the Beskar chainmail that Mando sent him. And so this tells us very clearly that, okay, Grogu chose Mando, right? And you know how Luke Skywalker gave him a choice? You can pick Yoda's lightsaber, or you can pick the Mandalorian's chainmail armor that he sent. Clearly, he picked the chainmail armor. And so this is immediately very, very concerning to me because I expected Baby Yoda or Grogu to not be in The Mandalorian anymore. But whatever, we'll get to that when we get to that. So she's like, all right, I'm going to feed the baby or whatnot before I take him over to Mando, who is in Mos Air or whatever. I don't understand why they're all named so similar, but whatever. So next day, Fennec is breaking down their plan to defend themselves in a very not defensible position. And so she's like, all right, well, the Pike Syndicate is going to arrive, and when they arrive, we'll see them, and that's our advantage. We'll see them before they see us. Okay? And so she breaks down where everybody is. So they got the two pig dudes watching the basically the starport. They got Cassandra, who, by the way, Boba Fett starts calling him Santo, so I'm going to call him Santo, honestly, because it's easier to remember than Crassandan or whatever it is. Santo, so Santo's the Wookiee. Crassandan, the Wookiee, I'm going to call him Santo. So Santo is standing in front of the mayor's office, and the biker dudes are, well, the Vespa dudes are kind of just like hanging out where they were standing originally. You know, with the water place, we know where they originally saw them. They're hanging out there in that alley. So, stupid idea to divide your forces that way. I mean, I get it. You want to have 1 or 2 scouts out there to keep an eye on things. But overall, massively stupid idea. And for some reason, well, they explained to us that they're separated and they put one character or one group of characters specifically in enemy territories. You know, because supposedly the 5 families, they agreed to stay out of it. But now they're like, okay, we're going to send somebody to each of their territories or whatever so they can keep an eye on stuff. And this is also that nobody can sneak up on us, right? And so immediately somebody sneaks up on them. So a droid shows up. Well, it's actually his droid. And it turns out basically Cad Bane showed up and he wants to talk. So again, Cad Bane, you know, they separated their forces like by a lot. And so they separated their forces to cover more territory so they could not get sneaked up on, and they got sneaked up on. So immediately their plan's a failure. And well, I mean, that plan was always going to fail because it's the dumbest plan I've ever heard in my life. But it gets worse. So let's continue. So Boba Fett goes out and he's talking to Cad Bane. Now, why Cad Bane is trying to provoke him to fight makes no sense to me. Because basically, Cad Bane is like, hey, you guys are dead, so you kind of should leave. Also, you should not expect the people from Freetown because they killed the sheriff or the marshal. Also, you're kind of a whiny little bitch, and don't you dare think of anything because I brought shooters too. So he brought backup. So not only did Cad Bane sneak up on them, a bunch of Pike Syndicate sharpshooters sneaked in too. And so here I am like, why is Cad Bane not killing him? Now, after he gives him this information, he tells him like, hey, the Pike Syndicate killed your family. Like they killed your Tuscan family. And Boba Fett's like, ugh. So like, and they made it look like it was the biker dudes, but no, we did it. And Boba Fett's like, are you fucking kidding me? And like, ugh. And so clearly, Cad Bane's trying to provoke Boba Fett into a fight. Now Fennec is trying to be like, no, this is not the time to fight or whatever. But I don't understand why Cad Bane wouldn't just shoot him. Like, what is he waiting for? Like, Boba Fett, I could maybe understand why he didn't want to shoot, because, I mean, he's out in the open, he has there's sharpshooters behind him, and Cad Bane's right in front of him, and we know that the dude's kind of dangerous in duels. But why doesn't Cad Bane just shoot him? I don't get it. Like, you don't give up? All right, I guess we'll kill you. Because you're already out here, and you're exposed, and I have backup. So, all right. Like I said, it doesn't make any sense, but whatever. So Cad Bane, so Boba Fett doesn't take the bait. He doesn't fight, and Cad Bane decides, all right, fine, my trick didn't work, and he left. After he leaves, this guy shows up. Now, this is the mayor's assistant, and I was like, why is this guy here? I thought he was in chains back in the palace. So why is he here, and why is he not in chains? First off, why is he there not in chains? Second, why hasn't he run away? Like, that's the first thing I would do. If I'm being kept prisoner by somebody and they take off my chains and then it looks like they're all distracted because somebody else showed up to negotiate, I'd run like fucking hell. Like, I'd get out of there pretty quickly. You're in a building that just got blown up. I'm sure there's an exit. But this guy is like, nah, I'm hanging out for reasons or whatever. I don't know. Makes no fucking sense. Anyway, at this point, it turns out everything's a setup. Everything is a trap. So the mods, listen, my kid brother made a point that these kids look like Power Rangers. Like, if somebody told you like these are the Power Rangers of the Star Wars universe, I'd be like, yeah, they kind of look like it. But anyway, the cyberpunk dudes get attacked by one of the families, the one they were in their territory, and oh my god, it's a trap. Then Santo got attacked by the reptile dudes, because he was in their territory, and they come at him with swords. And then the two pig dudes get attacked by other dudes who I don't even know who they fucking are, but they get attacked. The point is, everybody's attacked. It was all a trap. It was all a big plot from everybody. Everybody's betraying you. So the pig dudes are the first to eat it. They get basically thrown off a cliff. Now, here's something that I don't understand. Why did they bring guns? You know, these are like the worst planned freaking assaults ever. Like, they come at the pig dudes with spears, which is, again, it's better than, you know, a knife. But why don't you shoot them? Why don't you bring guns? I mean, in The Godfather, when they're trying to, you know, the scene when they're getting rid of all the competition, they use guns. they don't come at you with a knife. They plan. It's strategic. They don't give you a chance to respond. Cassandra, if they attack him with swords, he has a gun. I don't understand it. And the only ones that are like, okay, maybe it's the cyberpunk dudes, but still, it was horribly planned. Like, you could see them actually trying to go get the guns because they were hidden in baskets. Why didn't you just have the gun and hide it in your robe? Why didn't you flank them? Why didn't you position it? Why didn't you plant a bomb? Like, there's so many things you could have done in that situation, but all right, I guess you're just not that smart, or they didn't have time. You know, I'll give them that. They didn't have time. Whatever. So, Boba Fett's like, oh crap, well, we need to gather our people. And Fennec's like, yeah, we can't do that. And Boba Fett's like, all right, well, cut the head out of the snake, go kill the other dudes in Mos Eisley. And Fennec's like, all right, I guess I'll go kill the other dudes. So she runs out of there. Again, you can see Santo here. He has a gun, and they are, I don't know, wrestling with him. You've heard the expression, don't bring a knife to a gunfight, right? Well, I guess it's the Star Wars world. They probably have never heard of it. But yeah, I don't understand it, but whatever. Terrible strategy. Whatever. Next, you get to see the cyberpunk dudes, and they're getting massacred, right? And here I'm like, all right, so they made this big deal about these dudes being mechanically enhanced. They did a really big deal about it. Why have they not used any of those things? Like, the chick has a robotic arm. How about if you do something with a robotic arm? The dude has a robotic eye. How about if he does something with it? How about if we see, like, okay, that makes him a little bit dangerous. That makes him a little bit more skilled or whatever. But no, they're just there like normal people who chopped off their limbs and switched it for a robot part and enhanced them in no fucking way. But all right, I mean, it's their money. I mean, they're poor, and apparently they were starving. They couldn't get jobs, and so they decided to chop up their bodies to do something that helped them in no fucking way. But whatever. So they're getting pinned down, and all of a sudden Fennec's like, hey, just put your heads down. And so she shows up out of fucking nowhere and shoots up all these gang dudes, and so they decide to run away. And so Fennec jumps from the roof, gets on the speeder bike, and I'm like, is that the same one that she got there in? Because you're telling me that she got there, she parked the speeder right next to them in the middle of a gunfight, and then got on the roof and then shot everybody. That's a hell of a talent, man. That's crazy talented, but whatever. She gets on the speeder. That makes no fucking sense, because when you push it forward, it goes forward, and momentum pulls you back, and it doesn't make it stop, but whatever. I already complained about that. For some reason, Fennec flirts with the weird girl there, and it's like, I like your manners, or whatever. I don't know. It's really strange. And that brings us back to Boba Fett and Mando. And so the Pike Syndicate basically surrounding them, and they're kind of just looking at them. While Mando and Boba are basically, long story short, Boba's like, hey, you want to leave? You should probably leave. And Mando's like, no, my creed says I should stay. And Boba Fett's like, okay. I mean, if you want to stay, sure. And Mando's like, well, why don't you leave? And he's like, well, these people are counting on me. And it's one of those things that I'm like, what fucking people? Seriously. What people is he talking about? Name one. Like, name a civilian character other than the water guy, the water salesman who got fucked over by Boba Fett. Like, name a person. This entire show, like, you can't have this thing like, oh yeah, my people, my people. We haven't seen you interact with the people. I don't know which people you're talking about. I don't know which people you care about. So, what the fuck is this show? Seriously. Like, I'm the protector of these people, all this shit. These people depend on me. Name one. Literally, name one person that you helped in this entire fucking show. Name one. Anybody. Like, the town wasn't a character. Usually, when you're trying to make a character care about a town, you need to make the town a character. You need to give him reasons to be there. Perfect example. The Mandalorian. I didn't like this episode because it was stupid in the strategy, but the episode where he's in the town that's being attacked by raiders. And so he gets there, the people are nice to him, they feed him, Grogu looks like he could be happy with little kids. You actually see characters from the town. You actually interact with them a little, and you're like, hey, those are nice people. Maybe they shouldn't be killed by raiders. Here, name a fucking character from the town that Boba Fett helped. Name one. You can't. I can't either. It doesn't exist. So why the fuck is this now an excuse? How the fuck can you be this terrible at writing, Jon Favreau? Anyway, let's continue. So then the guy who was the mayor's assistant starts saying like, hey, how about if you use me? I got an idea. And now you understand why that guy was there. Before, it was like, okay, why is he there? It makes no fucking sense to get him out of the castle, out of his chains. Now you're like, that's why they had him there. That's why the writers had him there. I'm not saying that's why Boba Fett had him there. I'm saying that's why the writers had him there. Anyway, so this guy is like, hey, I'm a politician. How about if you let me go and try to negotiate a surrender? And Boba Fett's like, great, give me your tablet. So Boba Fett writes something on this dude's tablet, and the other guy's like, great, I'm going to go negotiate. Now, unless you're an idiot, like, and I mean a massive idiot, you would read what Boba Fett wrote, right? You would. You don't just walk out there with your dick in your hand, not knowing what you're going to say. You need to prepare what you're going to say, and so you would read what the person just wrote. But no, this guy walks out with his dick in his hand, and he's like, oh yes, I'm telling you the terms of surrender of Boba Fett, and he starts reading, and basically it's like, hey, I'm Boba Fett, fuck you, I'm not surrendering, you should surrender, leave or I'll kill you. And you're like, what is this scene? First off, beyond predictable. Second, why would he not read? I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? And so the character was forced to be there just so that he could have this moment. Again, this is really forced. This is all forced. And it, by the way, Boba Fett wrote like 2 lines and this guy read like an entire fucking epic poem, but whatever. So after that, the Pikes are like, well, we're going to kill you. And so when they say that, Boba Fett and Mando start flying around and shooting people. And they don't miss. All right, they're really good at not missing. So they start shooting around, killing people left and right, Pikes left and right. But the Pikes don't stop coming. Mando has to use his songbirds, which is the cheating weapon. But okay, now at least we know he doesn't have it anymore. Took the ace out of his sleeve. And so they're shooting and they're getting their asses whooped because there's more of them. And for some reason, they don't run for cover. Like, they're literally standing in the middle of the street getting shot at. Now, these dudes have armor, so they can take a few hits. However, you know what's better? If you take cover and most of your body's not exposed, so you don't have to take all those hits. And you clearly showed like an interesting strategy. You could just fly around, moving around from roof to roof, shooting, and you make it hard to... Don't stop moving. All right, if you don't stop moving, you're harder to hit. And if it's 2 of you, you can go from different sides, you can flank them. That would have actually been fun to watch. you know, in a Mandalorian attack strategy, you know, like, like you don't stop running. You pop up from behind. You throw some grenades. You use the flamethrower. You jump. They can't hit you if you don't stop moving, right? And they start getting scared, like, holy shit, where are they? Behind me, up. I don't know what I'm looking at. So that would have been fun to watch. But nah. Instead, we get to see these two idiots with their dick in their hands in the middle of the street, getting their asses whooped. So naturally, they need to get saved by somebody, and who saves them but the people of Freetown? So they show up with a tank. Now, where'd they get this kind? Well, it's not a tank. So let's say it's the equivalent of a, I don't know, like a warthog, like a Humvee with maybe like a minigun. So, you know, like a turret. Sure, a Humvee with a turret. They show up, and where'd they get this? Who the fuck knows? Could they have used this against the dragon? Probably, but they didn't use it. Anyway, or at least I don't remember it. And so they show up and they start blasting people, and they're there to help. And for some reason, the turret lasts like 2 shots before it gets, you know, blown to bits. And they're using this thing for cover. I mean, the Humvee for cover. Which, okay, at least they have cover now. At least they were smart. And here, this guy confirms that the marshal's dead. Now, it's really weird, because the way he says it, he doesn't say, oh yeah, he's dead. He's like, oh, they shot him in cold blood or whatever. So they're trying to make us think that he's dead. But, I mean, we saw how they shot him. It wasn't a kill shot. We were there. Did they not watch the previous episode? Did not know? Anyway, whatever. So, they're there, they're shooting. At least they got some kind of cover. Like, some kind of cover. Now, I don't understand why they don't spread around. You know, maybe somebody try to take, you know, like the roof or whatever. They're all in one spot. You know what's terrible for that? Well, you know what I would do if I were the Pike Syndicate, and I've planned this strategy, I would have just thrown a grenade. Now, for some reason, they didn't bring any grenades. I guess they don't think, you know, they're not that smart. That's what I would have done. Or I would have flanked them. You know, somebody from the other side, like somebody from over here, you can't miss. And you just get rid of all of them. You just take them all down. Then I guess they're not that smart. Or maybe they're like, but from the front, it'd be better. I don't know. It's really stupid. Like, strategy-wise, this is like the dumbest thing ever. But whatever. Let's move. Unfortunately, they're idiots on both sides. So that evens it out. So then you get to see this guy over here not taking any cover. Oh, actually, no. I'm mistaken. I'm very much mistaken. The Power Ranger Vespa dudes, they come up from this side. Now, you can see that these dudes were trying to take this side. So I apologize. Now, why didn't they take it faster? Who knows? Like this guy. Like think about this guy. Or this guy. If any of them would have run here, taking this cover, like cover on any of these pillars, they could have just... all of them. But no. I guess they were waiting for something. I don't know. Anyway, point is, Vespa dude shows up. He falls from his Vespa. And then this girl makes this supposedly cool move. Like, honestly, when they were showing up, they did look like the Power Rangers. And I think that's why Eric said it. But he shows up and, I don't know, stands right in the line of fucking fire. So in front of everybody who's shooting on both sides, she just decides, you know, I'm going to stop my Vespa here. And the rest of the Power Rangers, I don't know, unload. And she saves the other guy who fell from his Vespa. Anyway, here we learn that the cyberpunk Power Ranger dudes don't like the rest of the people on the planet. They're dirty people because, you know, they're farmers or whatnot. And they actually look like they belong there. Not these dudes. Look at them. They're all like clean and shit. Like, again, these are the dumbest characters in the Star Wars universe. And there's some pretty dumb characters in there. And I mean stupid looking, that they don't make any fucking sense, that they use them retardedly, and I don't get it. But anyway, whatever. Fucking hate it, but whatever. Let's move on. So then in the middle of the fucking fight, turns out freaking Santo's still alive, and he's trying to get there. He's trying to get back. Clearly, he's injured. He managed to fight his way through back there, so he's limping. He's trying to get back. And in the meantime, I don't know, I guess the Pikes are trying to kill him or whatever, which I guess makes a certain amount of sense. But Boba Fett walks out of there and he helps him get back to cover. So he goes out, grabs Santo, and manages to basically carry him back. Well, not carry him, like lean on him so they could go back to hiding behind the little car thing that the Freetown people brought there. It's one of those things that you're like, man, it's a Wookiee. It's a big ass Wookiee. And when you're shooting at him, you're basically only hitting his armor. Are you kidding? Until finally somebody shot him in the leg. It's like, all right, at least that guy did something. But point here is, Santo was limping, and then somebody shot him in the leg. I just want that to be clear. Next, the fight, the Pike Syndicate starts to leave, and you're like, what the fuck's happening? Where are they leaving? And then you're like, holy shit. Now, I think they called these like Scorpitogs or something, but basically, two massive giant droidekas showed up. For those of you who don't know who what droidekas are, they appeared in episodes 1, 2, 3, and it's the droids that turn into a ball, you know, and then have like a mini force field. Imagine two giant things of those. They don't roll. They only walk around like a spider, but they're massive, and they have their own force field. And that's when you're like, holy shit, all right, at least something cool happened here. And so, naturally, the giant droidekas don't shoot at them. Like, they keep walking close, and they put up their force fields, but they're not shooting at them. Why? I don't know. And I'm assuming these guns could produce some damage, and they got some range, but they're not shooting. Like, they're just getting closer. Why? I don't know. Boba Fett then uses his... he uses like the missile that he has in the back of his jetpack, shoots him with a missile, and the missile does nothing. So everybody's like, we're fucked. And here's some, all right, I want this to be clear, just for continuity's sake. Look at Boba Fett right there. Look at him, look at his back. The missile is gone. The missile was fired. I want that to be clear. Anyway, so see, all right, he fired the missile, whatever. Did nothing, and so everybody decides to run away because now the giant walker thingies decided to start shooting, and so they're like, we're fucked, and so they started running away, all in the same direction. Let me tell you something. In these types of situations, it's better to spread around. You know, you want to run in different directions because that way they won't get all of you, or maybe they'll chase somebody else, and they can't chase all of you. So if you're running in the same direction, then they can chase all of you. But if you spread around, they can't get all of you. So, you know, free advice. If you're ever in a situation where you're being chased by a giant droideka, spread the fuck up. Just spread the fuck up. Also, the Wookiee's running again. So you could see that Santo limped his way there. Then he got shot in the leg. And now he's running like nothing. So I just want that to be clear. Anyway, moving on. So Mando and Boba Fett are trying to take down one of the giant droidekas. They try to use everything. They use flamethrower. They shoot at it. Mando tried using the Darksaber. Nothing's working. Nothing's working against these guys. And so they're like, all right, we need a strategy. And Boba Fett's strategy basically is like, hey, hold on here for a while. I'll be right back. And Mando's like, fuck. All right. So Mando's basically strategy is like, all right, well, I'm running the fuck out of here. And one giant droideka starts chasing after him. Now, the other one keeps chasing after the other people. And Chrysanthemum decides, I'm going to shoot at it by myself. And then I'm going to use my claw to maybe break through. And that's when the giant droideka basically kicks it and keeps walking. Now, why the giant droideka wouldn't just kill him? I don't know. I mean, the giant droideka could have just, like, you know, you kick him and then you shoot at him and then he's dead. But he just didn't decide to do that, and that's because I forgot that these characters have a little thing called plot armor. And I mean plot armor up the wazoo. I mean, Santa's got so much fucking plot armor again. He's a giant fucking Wookiee, and when he was being shot, none of the shots were lethal. Most of the lethal shots were just hitting his armor. And, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would have emptied out every single clip I have if there's a giant Wookiee near me. Like, and I know it's an enemy. I would have just, like, emptied it out. Right, another one, and you just don't stop shooting. But all right. Whatever. Again, this, like I'm saying, this episode's a piece of shit. A piece of shit from beginning to end, but whatever. So the cyberpunk dudes are like, oh, we'll help you, or whatever. We gotta move. In the meantime, Mando keeps running, and he runs into the sky hair lady, because I forget her name. And she's like, I got a surprise for you. And Mando's like, run, bitch, run! So he gets up on the little droid car, and they speed out of there. And now this is it's also something that annoys me, because we've seen the speed that these droidicas can move. We've seen I mean, they move relatively fast for something that size, but I mean, he could outrun him on foot. So on the droid car, you'd think they would get some distance, but for some reason, they can't get any distance on the thing. For some reason, the thing keeps catching up. Anyway, so the rest of the townspeople are the Freetown people and the cyberpunk dudes are like, we need some cover, and so they go into a building, to have a fucking wall for cover. Well, whatever. This should not work, because again, you're being shot at by a giant fucking tank. All right, this is the equivalent of being shot at by a tank. A wall is not gonna help you, or that's the greatest fucking wall I've ever seen. But whatever. So the things got them pinned down. And so the people are like, hey, we need to run. And the cyberpunk chick is like, no, we need to stay here. We need to make our stand. We need to defend ourselves. Like, with fucking what? We don't have guns that could take down the fucking thing. But whatever. That's her stand because she claims that there's going to be nowhere to hide anywhere else. I mean, you could just run and spread up, but whatever. Doesn't matter. So they're pinned down. And she's like, all right, what if we get 2 people on the roof and then we'll sniper them? I mean, it's a strategy. Sure. And they're like, all right, let's try it. So now they're working together. You got the cyberpunk dudes and the Freetown people, and they're working together, and they have a strategy. In the meantime, Mando reunites with Grogu, and he's like, I missed you, buddy, but what the fuck are you doing here? And so they have this very emotional moment back together. And I'm sorry. I know the name now. The Scorpionic. That's what the giant droidica is called. A Scorpionic. Anyway, so they keep getting chased, and their little carriage gets blown up because the droid that was pulling it got fucked up. And so they're sent flying. And again, this thing managed to keep up. We've seen the speed that this thing goes. They should have been way out of its range already. They should have already left it in the dust. But no, it was right there. I mean, this thing teleports its fucking self, but whatever. And so Mando's like, I gotta stop this thing. And as he's like, all right, I gotta do something, they hear a giant, a growling in the distance. And lo and behold, a Rancor claw shows up. And then another, and then we see the fucking Rancor. And then the droidica thing the Scorpionic does the smart thing, and it shoots at it. And it's like, oh, fuck. And now we see Boba Fett riding the Rancor. Like he said he would in the beginning of the series. And then we didn't really get to see them train, because you need to train that thing. In fact, Danny Trejo was very specific. Like, if you work hard every day, then maybe one day you could eventually train it, even though nobody's ever ridden a Rancor, but eventually. But here's like, nah, fuck you, I could do it. And we never saw him even try. We never even saw them hang out, really. But all right, okay. Listen, if it's going to give me a giant Rancor fight against a giant droidica fight, sure, I'll take it. Anyway, so the droid does the smart thing and shoots at it, and the Rancor's like, fuck you, so it jumps right in front of it, and it tries to hit its shield. And so the droidica's like, all right, I gotta adjust my shields. Now, it does the weird color thing. I don't really understand what that means when it does the color shift thing. I'm assuming it just lowers the intensity, or puts more intensity on one side. I don't know. I've never seen this before, so I was very confused. But all right, I guess, better technology, droids can do that. And so the Rancor's trying to break it from one side. Mando's trying to sneaks in from the back. And let me see if I can find an image here. So Mando sneaks in from the back, slices off one arm, and then, stabs it in the head. But the droid's still going. And here's one of the things that bother me. You could see the Rancor is right in front of it. Like, literally right in front of it, hitting its shield. Some might call that dead to rights. You remember what I said about emptying your clip if there's a giant Wookiee in front of you? That goes double if there's an angry Rancor in front of you. But to be fair, it has been established that these giant droidicas or Scorpionics are kind of dumbasses that don't shoot when they should. But okay, let's continue, because this is just fucking infuriating. Again, I don't mind that the Rancor and Mando found a way to beat the giant Scorpionics. I don't mind it. I hate that they got there in the dumbest fucking way possible. All plot armor. All fucking bullshit. I fucking hate it. Because they're saying the audience is a bunch of idiots. But whatever. Anyway, so the Rancor finally gets shot and kind of like stumbles back after one shot. Mando also gets thrown off, and so while he's on the ground, instead of, I don't know, maybe rolling away or whatever, he's trying to like put his hands up because the Scorpionic wants to squash it. Again, not shoot it, he wants to squash it. So Baby Yoda walks out in the weirdest fucking way possible. I don't know why they didn't just CGI this, but okay. Baby Yoda walks out and he uses the Force to take away a screw from the Scorpionic's leg, which makes it kind of like stumble over and fall. With this, gives the Rancor an opening, and he basically rips the thing to shreds, right? Boom, like rips it apart. And so now they go after the other ones. I'm sorry, the other one. So while they're shooting this wall, that's like, again, the strongest wall in history. Like, look at that thing. It could just, I mean, it could take a fucking hit. There's a massive tank out there shooting at it, and nothing's happening. Like, nothing. Like, holy shit. Like, that's the most impressive wall in history, I'll tell you what. So, the girls make it to the roof, and then the dumbest fucking strategy in the world happens. So the girls on the roof, one of them says, they're standing right next to each other, and the cyberpunk girl tells the farm girl, or whatever, hey, I'll distract the droid while you take out the other guys. You know what that means? Distracting the droid means I'm going to get the droid's attention so that you're free to shoot all the other guys, right? She's standing right fucking next to you. Are you kidding me? Distracting the droid is making it look at you, and she's next to you. They'll shoot at both of you. This is dumb fucking shit. Are you kidding me? And so what happens? She starts shooting the droid and doing nothing while the other girl starts taking out the Pike Syndicate, and lo and behold, the fucking Scorpionic turns at them and shoots at them because they're both standing in the exact same fucking spot. Fuck! I don't understand how stupid you can be to choreograph this, to write it. It's the dumbest shit I've seen in my life. And these people get paid so much fucking money to write fucking shit. Anyway, moving on, because this still gets even fucking worse. So, the Rancor shows up and beats the robot to shreds. Well, he basically pushes it into a wall. And then Boba Fett's like, all right, do you think it's coming out or not? Turns out the robot was still ready to fight. And so they start fighting the Rancor. And now at least, you know, the Rancor is holding up the guns and making it not aim at it. So, all right, at least this was kind of enjoyable. Then he gets shot point blank, like point blank. It doesn't continue emptying out the clip. Point is, long story short, Rancor ends up winning the fight. And so the Pike Syndicate's like, fuck, we need to run out of here. And Mando's showing up and he starts shooting people, and the crazy hair lady's showing up people, and everybody is shooting up everybody, right? It's not a good situation for the Pike Syndicate. Then we get to see the Rancor eat some people, and while he's eating somebody and squashing people, Cad Bane shows up. So finally Cad Bane shows up, and you're like, okay, now we're getting a fight. Now we're gonna see something. Now we got a boss battle. Cool. And so it's a Rancor versus Cad Bane. Cad Bane came out there with freaking what do you call it? Ice in his veins. He's like, I'm standing up to a Rancor. Rancor's charging at him. He uses a flamethrower, hits him in the face. That knocks off Boba Fett, and the Rancor's like, fuck you, that's not fair. I don't want to get burned, and leaves. So, to reiterate, a Rancor who got shot several times point blank and kept coming at the giant droidicus does not like a little fire in his face, and that's enough to make him run away. Just to be fucking clear. It's enough to make the Rancor run away. Like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when he ripped the droidic, well, the Scorpionic in two, it exploded. So there was fire. I'm beyond fucking disappointed at fucking Jump for Bro. Like, all this, there could have been a way that this could have been done logically, in a fun way. But this is just so fucking stupid and lazy. That's the worst part. It's fucking lazy. They got lazy. in the worst way possible. Anyway, moving on. So now Boba Fett and Cad Bane, they're face to face in the middle of a duel. And so Boba Fett's basically like, "You're old," and Cad Bane's like, "You're old too." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm still faster, right? Let's prove it." And again, actually, Cad Bane asks a pretty solid question. He's like, "Hey, I can't figure out, why are you doing this? Like, seriously, what's the big deal?" Boba Fett's like, "This is my city. This is my people." And that brings me back to the question, what fucking people? Name a person. If you would have said at least the people in the casino, well, they're dead, all right? And I also don't remember any of their names. I think I remember one girl, and that's it. Nobody else. There's nobody else in this town who he interacted with that he helped, whose name you can mention. You can mention the water guy, and he screwed him over. Like, Boba Fett screwed that guy over epically. There's nobody fucking else. The town was not a character in this show. Whatever. Anyway, so they have their duel, and basically, Cad Bane whoops him. And I need you guys to, like, see this. Boba Fett's got his missile back. How did he get the missile back? Who the fuck knows? I mean, we saw him that he shot it, right? We saw that the thing was shot. We saw that it wasn't there, the missile, because he shot it. Is it possible that when he went there to get the Rancor, he grabbed the missile? Sure. It is possible. I just don't understand why, because he didn't really use it, even though he was fighting giant robots. But whatever. Maybe it's not a consistency mistake, but I'm going to go ahead and say it was a fucking consistency mistake. But whatever. In fact, let me go back a little bit further back. Let me see if I can see if he has it while he's on top of the Rancor. No, I think I went too far back. All right, he's in the Rancor. Come on. Show me Boba Fett here. Okay, he doesn't have it there, clearly. He does have it there. All right, so it's my mistake. It's possible that he got it when he went back. Anyway, so they're in the middle of this duel, because you have to, because this is a Western. And basically, long story short, Cad Bane wins the duel, right? Shoots faster, knocks him down. Boba Fett tries to fight his way out of it. Doesn't work. Cad Bane's superior. Cad Bane's like, "I beat you. I beat your dad. I beat your clones. I beat everybody. So go fuck yourself. I'm Cad fucking Bane." And so he has Boba Fett dead to rights, takes off his helmet, and as he's about to kill him, something really weird happens. I don't know how. Boba Fett kind of gets out of the way. Like, I want you to see this. So you see Boba Fett has his Tusken Raider stick on his back. So Boba Fett's on his back, laying on top of his Tusken Raider stick, but somehow he manages to roll out of the way, get his stick, hit freaking Cad Bane with it. It's the weirdest fucking choreography ever, and he's on his feet. So it's like one really weird movement. So I'm on the ground, dead to rights. I turn somehow, I hit you somehow with the stick that was behind my back, and now I'm standing with the stick aimed at you. I don't understand it. Anyway, so Boba Fett manages to beat him with a stick, knocks him down, has him dead to rights, and basically kills him. So he stabs him right in the belly. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Cad Bane, you just introduced him here. You just introduced him to this universe. And you killed him in the dumbest way possible? Are you insane? You have one of the coolest villains that you introduced in the Clone Wars. You brought him here. It looked like it was make things fucking interesting. And you kill him with fucking bullshit? Is this real? Is this real life? What the fuck are you doing? Anyway, so Cad Bane dies. And in the meantime, the Rancor is upset. So he just got burned in his face, and he doesn't know where he is. So he's basically rampaging all over town. And so the freaking Power Ranger dudes, they're shooting at him, which is a terrible idea because they're just making it matter. And Mando basically is like, "Hey, hold my beer. I'm gonna go try to calm him down." So he goes up, tries to ride him, doesn't work, gets knocked down, starts getting whooped. The Rancor tries to eat it, but can't get through the armor. Then he gets knocked off, and so basically he gets saved by Baby Yoda. Grogu shows up, and he manages to calm the Rancor down with the Force, and the Rancor goes to sleep. That's pretty much it. So that's what happens with the Rancor. And Mando's like, thank fucking God. Baby Yoda goes back to sleep, and everybody's like, well, what the fuck do we do? In the meantime, back in Mos Eisley, the Pike Syndicate leaders is hanging out with the leaders of the rest of 5 families, you know, the rest of the mob guys. Long story short, Fennec shows up, shoots everybody, hangs the mayor, and then stabs the Pike Syndicate dude in the face. I hated this because this whole scene was designed specifically so that we couldn't know what the fuck was happening. Now, it looked like Fennec shot him from different directions, but we couldn't see where she was standing. So this room specifically was left ambiguous so that the audience couldn't tell how fucking stupid it was the way that they designed this. Because at points it looked like Fennec was in there when she shot him, but we don't know because we can't see what the fuck it looks from outside. We can't see if there's a window. We can't see nothing. And then apparently there's a hole in the roof that she used to hang the freaking mayor. It was infuriating because it was done on purpose because they couldn't get their fucking shit together and they got lazy and they're like, how about instead of building a set that makes sense, or instead of making Fennec, I don't know, maybe drop a grenade there and do something fun, how about if we just make this as confusing as possible for the audience and fuck them, because fuck you. That's right, that's what they're saying, fuck you. Anyway, so basically Fennec kills him and then she walks away. Now, if it would have been that easy to kill all the leaders of the mob families, I don't know why they hadn't done it before. I mean, Fennec is a master assassin, and Boba Fett was hanging out with her the whole time. And also, you know, Boba Fett, he's also kind of a shady dude, so I don't get it. But whatever. So, everybody then, everything goes back to normal. The people now respect Boba Fett. I mean, all these people who had never seen before are now, like, bowing to Boba Fett. Why? I don't know. Usually, what happens in these situations is like, hey, fuck you, man. Our town got destroyed because of you. If you would have just left and left the other dudes do the spice thing, none of this would have happened. Fuck you. You destroyed my business. You destroyed my fucking business. You got my, I don't know, my uncle killed. Fuck you, guy. But no. Here everybody's like, thank you, Boba Fett, for getting, you know, like, our town blown to shit. Thank you. We really appreciate you. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I also don't understand why Boba Fett's against the spice trade. I mean, it's not clear if it's a drug. It's not clear if it's illegal. It's not clear what it's for. They just say spice. Ooh, okay, spice is bad. All right, whatever. So then we get to see something like Boba Fett saying like, "Oh well, my back to tank is being used by somebody else," and you're like, "Oh, is it used by Cad Bane? Did he leave that for Cad Bane?" Now, to me, I was like, that wouldn't make any fucking sense because he's the one that killed or tried to kill Cad Bane. But all right, it doesn't make much sense. Anyway, then the Power Ranger dudes show up, and Santo shows up, and apparently everybody's healed, everybody's clean. I don't get it. I don't get the Power Rangers here. They don't make any sense anywhere. But whatever. I guess those are the cool kids now in the town. And then we get to see Mando leaving with Grogu, and they're off to space and doing their own adventures and whatnot. Which is, again, concerning. Because I thought that Grogu was going to be out of the story. I wanted to see Mando by himself. It's infuriating, because it's almost like, hey, we finally set up Mando for a situation, The Mandalorian, and now in the Book of Boba Fett, how about if we just completely overturn that? So basically what happened is, Grogu was too fucking useless as a character, and so we need to have him go with Luke Skywalker a little bit, like for a minute. Not even in an episode, not even during The Mandalorian. This is all happening during the Book of Boba Fett. So we need him to get out of the way, and then we now have the excuse. Now he can be useful. He can use the Force. He can do other stuff. And now we have the excuse of saying, like, hey, well, he came back because Luke didn't want him or whatever, and now he's a useful character because he learned powers. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I really hate it. I beyond fucking loathe it, because Grogu makes Mando into a dumbass. And the whole point of the last season was him letting go, and now it turns out that he's back. Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously, what was the point? What was even the fucking... what was the point of this show? Was the point of this show basically just so that Grogu would come back to Mando? Not even in The Mandalorian. Like, this was all shit. Like, this whole series was shit from beginning to end. What'd they do? They introduced a bunch of cyberpunk characters that are the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen. bullshit from beginning to end. Anyway, so they leave, and then we get a extra scene at the end. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. All the way at the end. Okay, so we see the back to tank, and we get to see that that's actually the marshal. It's not Cad Bane like I thought. It's the marshal, and this is the guy who chops people up and turns them into robots. So, I mean, he's already in the back to tank. Why are you chopping him up and turning him into a robot? I don't care. Honestly, fuck this show. Fuck it. It's among the worst things I've ever seen in my life. That episode specifically. Overall, the series didn't make any sense. It changed nothing. Like, Boba Fett wise. The series begins with Boba Fett being the daimyo or whatever. Now it ends with him being the daimyo and having a Wookiee, the Power Rangers, and the Rancor. So he lost nothing. He only won stuff. I mean, I guess you could say that he lost his Tusken family, but we never saw that. We never saw it, so we never really cared. Boba Fett, nothing changed whatsoever. There was no purpose for anything here, except maybe killing off Cad Bane. Now, a lot of stuff happened related to Mando and the Mandalorian, but this is not the Mandalorian. This is the Book of Boba Fett. So I don't know. Fuck it, man. I'm tired. This was a disgustingly bad show. It was a massive waste of time. I am beyond, like I said, I'm fucking beyond disappointed with Jon Favreau and Robert Rodriguez. I expected better from you guys, but clearly you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're way over your heads, or you just got fucking lazy. All right, this was a work of somebody who doesn't give a fuck of what he's putting out there. He's like, oh yeah, whatever. I'll go with the easiest fucking solution. No, I'm not gonna waste my time trying to find a creative and fun way to use these characters. No, fuck it, money. I'll just take the money and I'll give you shit. Because I can, because fuck you. Because fuck you and fuck you what you like. I got the franchise right now. I can do whatever the fuck I want with it. And I'm going to be lazy with it. And I'm going to give you shit. And you're going to like it? Fuck you. Fuck that guy. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Super Dario World on YouTube and on Twitch, streaming live sometime. I don't know. Next week. We'll see where that goes. You can find me. You can message me directly on Instagram at Super Dario World and at Dario SDW. As always, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again next time.